First, though, let's go to former Bush 43 Deputy Chief of Staff Karl Rove on just how the White House can pivot now away from Russia, because, Karl, the mainstream media won't.
Well, and, it'll last for a couple of days, but provided the president doesn't say anything new, it should die away. So good to introduce a new emphasis. And I know the House Ways and Means Committee, led by Congressman Kevin Brady of Texas, have been working on this issue. They met yesterday with the president. We don't know a lot about the details, but there's a real desire, particularly in the House, to follow on with measures, hopefully some of which can get 60 votes in the Senate, because this will not be done under reconciliation, so it can't be passed with a simple majority in the Senate, which is why they're looking for some things that have bipartisan approval and have some Democrats who've been advocating them before.
So what would those be? Would it be a focus on middle-class tax cuts, more things on child care help, small business efforts at savings and things like that?
Well, there are three baskets that people are talking about. The one that has had the most visibility, and frankly, the one that is going to be a hard push, is to make permanent the tax cuts for individuals and small businesses that were included in last December's tax reform bill. The other two baskets, though, might have some things in them that are attractive to Democrats. One basket is retirement savings. There has been a push by Democrats and Republicans in the Senate to put in place what's called auto enrollment. So when you go to work in a company that has a retirement savings program, a 401k, for example, you're automatically enrolled in that program, and you have to take the affirmative step to unenroll, because what we find is that a lot of people just simply don't sign up when they go to work in a company, and years later they figure out they've lost a great retirement opportunity. So this would auto-enroll people. Also, universal savings accounts. You can set aside money for tax-free. You pay for taxes on it at that point, but when you draw it out, you use it. It's tax-free to use for things like health care and education. Expanded use of health savings accounts. That this retirement savings thing has got at least some of those elements in it. And finally, there's been a discussion about pension reform. How do we make the pensions that companies offer to their employees stronger and more durable and better funded for the long term? Now, where we go with these, no one really knows except the leadership of the House Ways and Means Committee and maybe staff members on the National Economic Council in the White House. But these are sort of the three baskets that are being talked about.
Karl, what? Those sound intriguing, but I believe they probably have to go back and revisit these caps on mortgage deductions. I think they've hit these blue states with huge populations hard, and I think the Republicans actually have some wiggle room here to do that. Would that be an idea? Because we're talking about some form of compromise if, to your point, they're going to get 60 votes.
Well, the question is, are the Democrats going to step forward and say, we come from blue states and therefore you need to either raise the mortgage interest deduction backed by the realtors and the mortgage banking industry, or are they going to say you need to do something about the limitation on our ability to write off taxes in high tax states? You know, that normally would be part of the normal process, that if the Republicans said we want this, the Democrats would say, well, we want something in that deal too. But I'm not certain the Democrats are in much of a dealing mood on anything. So it may be that things like auto enrollment that they had previously supported, many of them, is something that can be done. I'm not certain that we can have a big grand deal on tax reform, particularly this close to the November midterms. So
essentially what we're talking about is just another round of games, with typical Washington, D.C. gamesmanship, maybe enough so that in the midterms Republicans can say to voters, hey, we offered these things, and the resistance movement rebuffed it.
Well, there's always that possibility, but I know Kevin Brady, the chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee, pretty well. I've known him for years. He's not into political games. If he wants to pursue these things, it's because he thinks, A, they're good for the country, and B, he thinks that there's a shot that they might be able to get them done. So I don't think this is just might be in some people's minds, but it's not in the minds of the chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee. He wants to get things done, which is why I think he's been looking at what are things that both sides have been talking about, members of both parties have been talking about, that might be possible elements. And that's also why he's talking about multiple bills. The idea is not, let's just put this in, jam this into all one big bill. Let's put it in separate bills, and maybe then that gives us a better shot for getting some of this stuff through the Senate and onto the president's desk.
You know, the notion of taking small bites at the apple actually might be applicable to a whole lot of these issues, and at least we could get some things resolved, because, you know, there's just too many things getting jammed up down in D.C. I think the American public want to see more results.
I think that's absolutely right. And look, incremental progress is still progress, and success in Congress breeds success. That is to say, if you get Democrats and Republicans actually working together on something and getting it done, it means they're more likely to find opportunities like that again in the future.
Karl Rove, thank you very much.
Hey, is Cavuto going to ever come back, or have you just hijacked the show? I heard a rumor that you put him in a small closet and tied him to a chair, but really, Charles,
you weren't supposed to hear that yet. I don't know. Talking about leaks in the White House, it's worse than this building. Karl,
exactly. Well, I have friends in the intelligence community who, we monitor you.
You do. Thanks a lot, buddy.
Thanks, Charles.